What's up guys, Chad here from Shifting Lanes. Today you find me in this wonderful winter wonderland and I'm driving a Chevy Traverse. But for a few reasons, that's not a bad thing. Stay tuned. So why, you might be wondering, am I in a 2018 Chevy Traverse High Country and not my M3? Well, number one, all-wheel drive. The M3 isn't exactly what you would call awesome in snowy or low traction conditions. The other reason I'm in a Chevy Traverse is that Chevy was nice enough to invite me up to one of their winter driving events up at Lime Rock Park in Connecticut. This was actually a awesome trip. I thought when I was gonna go up, they were just gonna throw us on normal-ish looking roads or try to simulate that as best they can, and how to drive safely, slowly, and for lack of a better way, boringly. Is that even a word? Whatever. Much to my surprise and much to my delight, yes, there was an element on how to drive in the winter, and I'm actually going to share with you some of that information in a little bit. But the best part is we almost had free reign to do effectively whatever we wanted with these cars on the Lime Rock Autocross circuit, which they had specifically set up for winter driving, for snow driving. You had big ruts, you had ice situations, you had just about everything you'd want to simulate in a winter driving course. We actually got professional instructors, and my professional instructor's first and only rule was don't hit a pylon, don't hit a cone. Other than that, go nuts.
But yeah, anything you want to do while you're out here, feel free to play, have fun.
Always the words I want to hear when I'm going on a track. But we actually pushed a bunch of Chevys, Equinoxes, the Tracks, and specifically for me, this Traverse really hard on the course. I mean, really hard. I was hitting skid plates, nosing in a few times, and the crazy thing is, the Traverse took it. It took everything I threw at it, which wasn't gentle, was not gentle at all, and it came back for more. The instructor was actually pushing us to go quicker, quicker, quicker. You know, we even missed a corner at one point, you know, and had those famous words, maybe I should have told you to brake a little earlier. But overall, the day was fantastic, and it did provide a lot of helpful insight if you live up north, or if you live down south and you happen to get snow, much like some of the storms we've had this year. First, the Traverse. This thing is a fantastic vehicle. The interior is one of the roomiest and nicest interiors I've been in for a car of this class. No joke, you can actually fit a human in the footwell, in the front seats. Not that you'd have to or really should want to, but it's doable, just in case, for whatever reason. Same goes for the second row. They're actually captain's chairs, which not only are more comfortable, but it makes actually accessing the third row, which has the most space in this class, the full-size crossover class. Overall, you have a great V6 up front, makes plenty of power. It's a great family car, good for powering away from lane hogs on the highway, efficient enough to not break the bank, and comfortable, I mean really comfortable. So long trips with the kids, at least the car won't be annoying you. Now, I know a lot of you are watching this and thinking, Chad, I can drive in the winter. Come on, let's be serious here. I agree. But yet, every time you go out, there's almost definitely someone stuck in a ditch, off on the side of the road. How did they get there? Well, winter driving boils down to a number of different factors, but at its simplest, it's just common sense. Don't be an idiot. Make sure your car is clean. Make sure your car is warm. Make sure, come winter time, you have good tread on your tires. Everybody knows that when it's snowing out, you have less grip. It's just simple physics, right? However, when there's just snow on the road, you have 50% less grip than you would on otherwise dry tarmac. When ice is involved, that's 75% less grip. What does all this mean? It means you gotta be smart. It means you gotta have your wits about you. Don't make any sudden, jerky, borderline panicky movements unless you absolutely have to. The only exception to this rule is when it's an emergency situation, when you really need to stop. Just let the car do what the car is smarter than you. The ABS system in the Traverse will actually make adjustments to each wheel while you're in a heavy braking situation, while the ABS is kicking in, of about 100 times per second. That is way faster than even the fastest, most fleetest of foot human can actually do. So with modern cars in general, if you need to stop, the best way for you to stop is just slam on that brake pedal like your life depends on it and hope for the best. Because unlike cars in the past, you don't need to pump the brakes. Actually, pumping the brakes is worse for the car. It's really going to hurt you as far as stopping distance and things like that. And what happens should you find yourself in a skid? Well, again, a lot of what it is trust the ABS is going to save you. However, look where you want to go. Your hands will follow your eyes. So if you lose the ass end of the car, turn in the direction you want to go. Get off the gas. Hopefully you'll find some traction at some point and it'll bring the car back into line. In an understeer event, this is so counterintuitive, it got me a couple times on the course. That is when you feel the steering wheel go numb, when you feel that the front wheels are no longer doing anything to grip the pavement, turn back into it. It's counterintuitive. You want to go right, you're sliding, car's pushing forward, you're going to want to turn a little bit back into the left, gently and slowly, to try to find, once the car grabs, once the car has grip, then you can turn, then you can proceed. The reason you want to do this is if you're sliding and you just crank the wheel as hard as you can in one direction, eventually, and hopefully, the car's going to find grip. When it does find grip, those tires are going to bite in the direction that you have them pointed. If they're all the way to, say, the right, they're going to grab, and you could lose the ass end of the car. That's kind of what's known as snap oversteer. You're plowing, you're plowing, you're plowing, all of a sudden the front wheels get grip, and they overpower the rear wheels. So again, keep your wits about you, steer into the slide. In an understeer situation, turn back into the slide until you find grip, and then gradually turn the wheel back in the direction you want to go. The other thing with winter driving, and something that a lot of people overlook in the quest for staying warm, is you'll notice no gloves, no bulky winter jacket. Why is that? That is because when you're wearing those big gloves, the tactile sensation with the steering wheel isn't the same. You don't feel what the car is doing. Now, a lot of cars today you would kind of classify as being somewhat numb. However, even the numbest modern car is still going to provide you some feedback through the wheel. The other reason is gloves make it, especially big bulky ones, make it almost impossible to do modern touch screens, modern knobs and switches, going from two-wheel drive to all-wheel drive, or if you have a snow function in your stability management. Gloves make that a difficult challenge. The other thing you don't want to wear is those big, bulky boots. Now, they may be warm, they may be great for trekking around in said snow. However, once you're in the car, there's a very real risk that you could mash the brake pedal and the boot be so large that you're actually going to be touching or pressing down on two separate pedals at the same time. What we suggest is obviously wear all your winter gear, have it in the car, take it off before you get into the car, have a spare set of shoes, so this way the car does what you tell it to do. And lastly is be prepared. If you live in an area like New Jersey that has winters, you get snow, make sure you're prepared for winter. So what does that mean? That means having a shovel, a small shovel in your car, should you need to dig yourself out, should you need to dig away snow to improve traction if you find yourself stuck. Flares or reflective surfaces, those little triangles. If you find yourself in a situation where you're stuck, or you need to stop and you want to let a snowplow go by, whatever, visibility sucks in the winter. Visibility sucks even more when it's snowing outside. Number one thing you can do to keep yourself safe is let yourself be seen. Set these things out, be seen, This way, you don't get hit by someone who just flat out does not see you. Another simple one, a flashlight with spare batteries. Worst thing you want to do is need a flashlight to check a tire, check your engine, check whatever, and not have the juice to do so. So extra batteries and a flashlight. Hand warmers. Should you find yourself off the side of the road, and should you find your car broken down, you have no power. You have no way of heating yourself. So hand and foot warmers, a space blanket, all of this stuff will help keep you warm should you have to spend the night in your car with no heat. Another thing to have is a charged up external battery. Again, your car's dead. There's no power. Your cell phone's dead. What do? Well, you can't charge it with the car because it has no power. These little external batteries are fantastic. The ones I have, you get 2 or 3 charges out of them. But they make cheaper ones where you can get for like $9, $10. Really simple to use. Just plug your USB cable into them. And you'll have a way of charging your phone should you need to call for help. And another thing to consider, even if you drive an all-wheel drive car, you may be able to go better than anyone out there on the road, especially someone with a 2-wheel drive car. However, that does not make you invincible. In fact, it may make you overconfident. And here's the thing about all-wheel drive. It'll help you go. It'll help you kind of stay on the road, especially if you have an active all-wheel drive system as individual wheels hunt for grip. However, it doesn't help you slow down, and if you're in a slide, it does no good for you. If you've lost traction, you're just along for the ride. You're basically just a passenger. So keep the speed down. Don't be jerky with the throttle. Be aware of the fact that yes, you may be able to go. Yes, you may be able to get over hills and all that fun stuff better than your 2-wheel drive compatriots. However, they brake just as well as you in this. And if you're going too fast, if you're not thinking about your momentum and things of that nature, you're going to be off in the ditch just alongside of them. So drive smart. And the last thing with winter driving, and possibly the best tip you can have, again, common sense, you always have the option to not drive. There are very, very, very rare occasions when you need to take your personal car out and drive. You can come up with 1,000 other excuses. I gotta work tomorrow. I gotta see the girlfriend. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. Any number of excuses to go out and drive in questionable conditions. Thing of it is, unless it's an absolute life or death emergency, stay home. That's the safest way to drive in the winter. Absolutely zero chance of you sliding your car off into a ditch, hitting a tree, any of that stuff, if you don't drive. And that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Hoping the M3 will be back in commission within a few days. Hopefully at that point I can start parts shopping or parts car shopping. Thanks to Chevrolet for taking us out on this event. It was an absolute riot. I cannot tell you the last time I had that much fun in a car at that slow of a speed. And lastly, winter driving. Guys, just don't be a dumbass. If you're smart and use common sense, you'll be okay. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, please hit the like button. Please subscribe. Please share to your friends. Really helps us out a lot. Really helps us make more videos. Really helps us with the builds. The Volvo, the BMW, the fun stuff, so to speak. You can find me out on social media at Chenedy83, and Shifting Lanes is everywhere at Shifting Lanes. Find us out on Drive Tribe. If you're unfamiliar with it, it's basically Facebook for car lovers. Like motorsports, they got you covered. Like car reviews, they got you covered. If it has 4 wheels, and sometimes less than that, and an engine, Drive Tribe has you covered. They got everything the car enthusiast could possibly want, so definitely go check them out. Thanks again so much for watching. I'm Chad. I'll catch you next time.